I'm going to talk about two varnishes that you can use with paintings, both oil and acrylic paintings. Here are the two varnishes I use. The first is Winsor Newton's Brillant. I have used this synthetic varnish since the early 2000s and greatly prefer it over Gamvar varnish. It is fast drying, hard, and resilient. It produces a strong noxious odor like Gamvar, so you have to apply it in a well-ventilated room. I do not recommend varnishing outdoors due to insects, pollen, and other stuff sticking to the wet painting. I prefer varnishing in the spring when I can open a window. All varnishes must be removable for future conservation, so Brillant requires the use of pure spirits of turpentine for this purpose. Real turpentine is also noxious, and you must use it to clean your brushes after varnishing. Otherwise, you might as well throw the brush away. Odorless solvents will not work. Brillant can only be used after 4 to 6 months of drying time for most oil paintings. I always apply 2 coats to get a high gloss. Gamvar varnish is a creation of Gamblin, and it can be applied as soon as the oil paint is touch dry. Unlike older forms of varnish, it breathes, so allows the paint skin underneath to continue curing. It is a godsend in that it allows the painter to varnish a batch of recent paintings before shipping them out for a gallery show. There are, however, a few drawbacks. Gamvar is softer and slower drying. In fact, after it dries, it can be somewhat tacky to touch, even weeks later. Applying a second coat is trickier because, well, it partially dissolves the first coat. This removable aspect of varnish is, of course, desirable, and Gamvar can be removed easily with any odorless solvent, including the gold standard Gamsol, which is also made by Gamblin. Cleaning brushes with soap and odorless solvent is a breeze. The completion of this painting is the subject of a recent time-lapse YouTube video. I am using Gamvar varnish for it. Always clean your paintings before varnishing, as they will collect dust and thin layers of aerialized cooking oil over the years. A mild dishwashing detergent and wet sponge will do the job. When varnishing, always lay the painting flat so you can view it edgewise. This way you can keep track of your progress over the wet surface. This will also expose any places you missed. Use as little varnish as possible. A small painting like this will only require 2 tablespoons for each coat. Varnish, and especially Gamvar, will run where gravity is involved, so you have to watch the sides of your paintings for drips and rivulets, such as seen on this bottle of corn syrup. These are easy to miss. A second coat of varnish is recommended since every painting will have dull patches, where the oil mixture may have more or less linseed oil added to it. Also, some oil pigments, like zinc and titanium whites, dry chalkier, and so appear to resist good adherence to the first coat of varnish. Here are some reasons to varnish a painting. Varnish rewets the paints, so dark pigments such as blacks, browns, and deep blues, greens, and violets return to the true tonal value they had when they first came out of the tube. Varnish is reflective. It does not absorb light, but repels it. So varnish evens out the shiny and dull patches of the paint skin, thus giving the painting an even, reflective surface. Varnish adds resilience and protection from bangs and scratches. More importantly, a varnished painting looks freshly finished, professional, and expensive. By the way, always photograph your paintings before you varnish. Varnish glare really messes with photography. You can always adjust the darks of your image in Photoshop.